James Jackson Jr. plays thought number two in A Strange Loop. Thought
Yes.
number two.
Thought number two.
Thought number two. Yeah, I guess I'll expand more about like how I like A Strange Loop and why, because it has been
If
a
you
couple
could
of episodes.
yes, please talk about it.
I read an article in Vulture and it had the up and coming comedians to check out. And one of them was a woman I was doing a movie with at the time.
Okay, wow.
And that's how
Yes.
I found Larry Owens. And at the bottom of his bio, it was like, and now he's in A Strange Loop. That's fire. Sounds fire.
That's why
And
this is so exciting.
what proceeded was just one of the best musicals I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen something that was so free of
Yes,
structure, free of rigidity, and also so carefully tailored at the same time.
right? I mean, well, go in. I'm just enjoying all of this press. I wish I wish seen it before it had to
Mm.
close.
I hope you'll get to see it again. There has been, I've had so many different discussions with people about like, I see this coming to Broadway. They were like, yeah, I think it had the journey it needed. And I was like, did it?
Right. Did
Did
it?
it? Because, like,
Because
you could argue that Hamilton had the journey it needed when it went to the public theater, but
right.
Hamilton ended up winning the Pulitzer Prize and it had to go to Broadway first.
I mean, well, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. That's a lot of times that's how the discussion around plays that are really centering, you know, Black thought movements and the movement and the progression, the range to talk about like, all kinds of issues arriving in our day to day. People tend to think like, oh, that's not going to that kind of art is only going to reach a certain type of person and if it does well at all in the mainstream, in my bubble, then good for it, good for the show, good for them, good for those people. So like I don't know, I've experienced that in different ways, and honestly, like, just like you said, people who say that are, you know they're just blinded, I guess, by their own bias, in a
Yeah,
way.
it's ridiculous. Like unless it
We
gets
can't.
like a piece in the New York Times, it's not even considered special or anything
It
like
gets a
that.
lot of it'll get a lot of slack. Yeah.
Yeah, and the first time I saw Strange Loop was, I'm pretty sure it was early on in its run. So like it didn't, I think it was in previews. Yeah, it was in previews the first time I saw it. And then the second time I saw it, it had already opened, and I brought my really good friend who I see theater with, and she actually didn't respond to it the way I had anticipated at all. And I was just like, yeah, people have different opinions on this show, and I was like,
For
ooh,
real, for
that's
real.
how I know this show is special.
Mm.
Because if I know, first of all, I always feel like the town crier sometimes, like the loon. I was running around Trolls that summer, and I'm sorry, we need to give context because this is the
We
second
do
time
need
we
to
brought
not
up
just be like,
Trolls.
I've been running around Trolls, and everyone's like,
The fuck is
haven't
Trolls?
we all? Right.
So
No.
Mariah and I worked together at Trolls the Experience. It
Oh,
was
the
a live
experience.
experience. I'd worked in that building at Downton Abbey,
Right
at the
before,
Downton
right,
Abbey
definitely.
Experience since like
And then,
the year I graduated college, like 2017. So I'd been working in the same building for like 2 years
Jeez
nearly.
Louise.
It was trippy as fuck. But
You were
yes,
there. You're
so
waiting for.
I was running around the break room of Trolls the Experience being like, you guys, everybody listen. I know everybody here likes Hamilton and like,
The
going on
things.
tour and leaving New York
Yes.
to go book jobs. But while you're here, if you don't mind, there's a pretty dope show going on called The Strange Loop, and you should all go see it. And I felt like everybody was like, yeah, yeah, I've heard there's a lot of shows in New York. I'm like, yeah, I
But
hear
nothing
you.
like this.
No, I can't. You can't
Like, who
clap
are you
at
telling that
a
there's a lot of
Trolls
things to talk
ambassador.
about?
I
Mm,
learned that lesson the hard way.
mm.
Oh
Trolls,
yeah.
trolls, trolls. I can't. Trolls, trolls, trolls everywhere. No, I honestly. I'm very grateful for the relationships that I made there, met a lot of
100%.
wonderful people, yourself included.
Today is sponsored by Trash Treasure Chest.
Oh,
Mariah?
Hello, everyone. Please turn on the fun music for this part. The GSN Home Shopping Network. Yeah. Because I'm about to present to you guys my jewelry for today's episode. So I'm going to do the Soda Tab earrings again today. These are 2 monster tabs that I painted. Can you see that pretty well?
Ooh, yes. I can see them very well.
They are painted, and they're already orange, so we didn't have to go too crazy. But they are gonna go right into these ears, like so. I also did my own hair, so I've started a business, people. So, if you can, go over to @Trash Treasure Chest, give me a follow, and give me some feedback because the store is launching soon. Well, you can buy stuff now in my DMs. Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful ad, Mariah.
Now, on to the rest of the jewelry. This is my ladybug necklace. I wore it last week, and I'm gonna wear it again because it's so cute. It is inside of a Malta bottle cap. Fresh and so clean. Thank you, Malta, for not sponsoring this necklace, but liking the picture on my page. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We applaud when corporate people give themselves a pat on the back for trickling down a little bit.
Absolutely. Trickling down by liking my picture, not featuring. No.
Nay.
Maybe we'll have more followers. So once again, folks, please go @Trash Treasure Chest and follow my jewelry line if you want to help me save the earth and be absolutely adorable while you do it.
That's Trash Treasure Chest.
Yes, @Trash Treasure Chest.
Yes. Now, on with the show.
Absolutely. How we doing?
Oh. We've raised $15,000.
Oh my God! What?
Who knew we were raising money for ourselves?
Since when?
Yeah, we made, oh my God, we're up to $17,000.
What is happening?
This is happening.
Tell us all.
Happening. Remember that shit? Remember Bring It On the musical? And now, here's James Jackson Jr.
Enjoy, people.
You could not have timed that better. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good, love. How are you?
I'm okay.
Excellent.
Okay.
Oh, for sure. Doing the best we can, right?
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. It's amazing. Where are you guys?
Mariah, where are you?
Oh, I'm in Yonkers. New York.
Yes.
Yes.
My boyfriend's from Yonkers.
Hey.
Yes.
All the best shawties are from Yonkers.
Yeah, they are.
Period.
I am in my childhood bedroom in Long Island.
Yes. That's the only way to do it.
I suppose, right now, are you kidding me? Hell yeah. I have a place in East Harlem, but I actually just found somebody to take my room. There's a person.
Oh.
Woo!
Right now. Like people are like, oh yeah, sure, I'll move.
Yeah, it's crazy. There is a kava bar that's still running in the Lower East Side, Kava Sutra. You should all go to it. And I'm pretty sure they are running legally because they have a license. But my roommate Lexi got her friend Emily a job, and Emily wants my room, and I'm gonna give her that.
That's amazing.
I've given you like 2 introductions so far with like me and Mariah, but I'm gonna give you one more because this introduction is gonna become a toast. Are you ready for this?
Yes. Okay.
Our first guest is a man. This man has a drink. And so do I. His name is James Jackson Jr., and he played Thought Number 2 in the Playwrights Horizons production of A Strange Loop, which just won a Pulitzer Prize.
Woo! Yes. And a Lortel Award. So exciting.
And a Lortel Award.
Yes, so exciting. So excited to have you on right now. This is amazing.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Yes, it is just so great. So I wanted to propose a toast to a Strange Loop success.
Yes.
Because here we
Yes.
go. Yeah, there.
Bam.
Cheers, folks.
Cheers.
This bottle is from
Damn.
Kenco.
Mm.
Oh.
I finished the glass, but don't worry. I come prepared like Meryl, Christine, and Audra. I
Day
Period.
don't.
drinking.
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah.
you are a new friend, and I
I
want to
know.
get to know you a little bit. You were so
Bring it.
positive, so open about
Bring
coming
it.
through.
I
Where
tried
are
to
you
be
from?
originally from Boston, which is weird because I guess I'm not supposed to be as that nice. But no, I'm just nice and welcoming, I guess.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
But yeah, from Boston originally.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I see what you mean by that because I'm from Long Island, so I know what
You have a
like they're supposed to
reputation.
sound like. They're supposed
Mhm.
to have that obnoxious
Right.
part of their
Right.
voice, but you don't. You
I,
you're
I
very.
try
Meanwhile,
not to.
yes.
Oh
In Yonkers
yes.
is known. People think I live on a farm. Yonkers is
So are you from Yonkers originally?
Yeah. Well, we moved here, I guess I was 5. Does that count?
That counts. That counts. Yeah.
Yes, no, the whole fam's here. But yeah, I moved here a long time ago.
Oh,
Beautiful
that's
city,
awesome.
learning so much, starting businesses
I
here.
love it. I love it.
Yeah, Mariah
Absolutely,
has her own
absolutely.
business. We were just advertising it.
Yeah,
Oh.
because I'm wearing my jewelry, so technically I'm sponsored.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
What are you making?
So I make jewelry out of products that are a little off the beaten trail. So I use old and recycled jewelry items, and I also use recycled just found objects. So this is actually a
Oh.
bottle cap. I'm gonna put my entire chin in the camera. Okay.
Oh my God, I
Yeah.
love that.
And inside there's a little ladybug. Isn't it cute?
Oh, I'm gonna need to see some of your things because
And it's on a chain. So yeah, you can check me out at Trash Treasure Chest. If you don't like it, just don't follow me. I won't even. I'm kidding. No, seriously, just go ahead. Please check out the channel. I have all kinds of other things. I also make like custom pieces on more of commission based. So like DM me, slide in the
Yay.
DMs. I have
I
all
will,
kinds of
I
stuff. I make
will.
rings. I make necklaces. I have glass jewelry too. Like I have a lot of glass beads. So like if you need something elegant, if you need something that's like
well, eleganza,
Yeah.
something
yes,
for the décolletage area.
for the whole décolletage, the deck and the letage. You know what I mean? Balance.
Yes.
Listen, folks, if you need something for that Zoom gala, check out Trash Treasure Chest.
That's right. Right.
Yes.
Show them that you want to be an eco bay. Hashtag
I will be there.
eco bay.
I will be there.
Period. Thank
Hashtag
you.
eco bay. The other thing that I would be
Hmm.
remiss not to discuss is that you have been blocked on Twitter by Christy Alley, and we need to talk about that
I
We need to
have.
immediately.
start there.
So I found out during the election, that that Kirstie Alley there was some article I read about Kirstie Alley being really vocal on Twitter in support of Donald Trump, which I already thought was weird in and of itself.
Yeah, that's strange.
She's like, wait, Christy.
Kirstie Alley, like of all
Like
people.
Christy Alley?
But that her
Same.
fans or people were
Mhm.
coming for her on Twitter, and the weird thing was that she was responding to everyone, like all night long, was just up angrily responding to Twitter followers, and I was like, "Can I join that?"
Heard about this? Yes. Yeah.
No, you can join that.
Mm.
Yeah, she blocked me. I tried to get the hashtag Parker Stevens was right to take over because because her ex-husband was Parker Stevens or Parker Stevenson. Maybe
Oh.
that's why the hashtag didn't work.
We'll have our researchers look it up.
Fact checking right now.
He was one of the Hardy Boys.
Get out of here.
That's
I mean,
true.
I'm that old.
Yep.
Parker
Stevenson.
Stevenson. Yeah.
Mhm.
Parker Stevenson. It was one of the worst divorces in like Hollywood history.
Oh my
So I
god.
tried to get that to take off, immediately blocked, and then now I can't talk to Kirstie Alley anymore.
Are
So
you-
angrily like typing back to people and just like, no, I love Donald Trump and he's doing all the right stuff. And I was like, really?
Okay,
really,
ma'am.
Scientology? But okay. There's a small club of people that have
Mhm.
also been blocked by her.
Who
which is kinda
else?
cool. I just found out, my boyfriend sent me this thing about Billy Eichner being blocked by her. And it was like, and when he went out to say like on Twitter, like, oh my God, I've been blocked by Kirstie Alley, all these other people like Leah Remini started to
Yeah, me
chime in
too.
about like,
Yes,
oh my
I
God,
know
welcome
Leah
to the
is.
club. So I'm in good company, I guess. Yeah.
Billy Eichner is actually a very, I know he has this persona of like I'm a lunatic, but he is actually like very, very grounded, nice guy.
Yeah.
I had a gig working on Late Night with Seth Meyers, and
Oh,
I ended
amazing.
up getting cut from it, but like I got to hang in the green room for the rest of the show. And Danielle
Yay.
Brooks was there promoting Much Ado.
She's
Oh
amazing.
wow.
Yeah.
Lion King was going on during that time. He is the only redeeming part of the Lion King. Did you see that?
Beyonce King.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Don't worry about it.
I
You're good.
mean, I'll get around to it.
Mm,
Question
I
mark.
understand
yeah, you're
You
good.
know,
feelings.
I
Like,
was there for the first time.
Yes, I hear you there. I
So
literally
it's like,
have it on like VCR still. My sister.
How-
VHS.
I love it. I love it.
Oh yeah. And that summer was a pretty big summer for you also because
Was it just last summer?
it really just was. It was not that long ago at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when A Strange Loop came out.
I get.
And
It's weird because we're in like the 1 year anniversary of all of these things, like
So I'm
previews
hearing.
starting, and like I think we started performances like May 20 something, maybe.
yeah,
last
that's
year.
right.
So we're like charting all of the, the memories come up on Facebook. And it's like, oh, that's when we were learning this part of the script or like this part of the choreography. And it's like, it's so weird.
Talk about that first day of rehearsal.
It was amazing because a lot of us have been working on this for years with Michael. I think John Andrew, who ends up playing the mother in the end, has been the longest. So we had been doing this and a lot as a family for the longest time. And we got to that first rehearsal and we got to see, we never thought this was going to happen anyway, that we would get to do the show. So when we got there and we got to see, they like mark out things on the floor, like here's where like doorway number 1 is going to be. We saw things like here's trap door number 1. And we were like, what? There's a trap door. We got to see like the model of the set. There's an amazing photo somewhere, like in some of our social media or somewhere, I think maybe even somewhere on Playbill, of us seeing the model of the set for the first time because it didn't make sense to us that this was going to be real.
Not at all.
Right.
Not
We've
at
been
all.
doing this for years, just at music stands. Like, here we go. So just the fact that we were even going to be looking at other actors and like actually having conversations was already a weird thing. But to see the set for the first time and these like models of costumes and things like that was so overwhelming. And there are some great photos of us actually seeing that stuff for the first time. And we also got to do a full read through and sing through on day 1.
Wow.
Because we never get to do that. But
no, it takes
the
time.
people at Playwrights got to see like a full show of a read through that afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's iconic.
How much time did you have with the material before that day?
The rehearsal period was so I had done it. I don't know, 2000. Let's see. This was 2019. So maybe 2011 or 12 or something like that. I don't know.
Whoa. You had time. You had time to learn the text.
I know John Andrew has been, I think, 9 years. So Jason VC and I are somewhere under that. So yeah, but we've had a while.
Yeah. Is that the first show that like you had like a relationship with, like as an artist?
I keep saying it's always been there. When I got to New York, I knew of 2 people that I'd met in Boston doing a production of The Wild Party. And they were like, when you get to New York, look us up. And one of them was Rachel Peters, who's an amazing composer herself. And she was at Brandeis when I met her in Boston. She was now at NYU when I got to New York. And I was like, hi, I'm here, so be my friend. And she was lovely and was my friend and is still my friend. And she asked me she's like, you would love my friend Michael Jackson. And I was like, all right. We met and I've been addicted ever since.
There we go.
So I don't know. I think going through all of the things you go through, learning how to be a performer in New York, of like the shitty auditions, the children's theater tours to get your equity card, like all of the stuff that you have to do, the terrible regional theater, like all of those things I would go do but there was always this thing that it was like, oh, we're going to do another reading of A Strange Loop. All right. So there was always this thing that was always there for years. So, and to now have it be recognized by everyone else is like, I was just listening to Michael talk about it on something he was on the other day. And it's like, oh, the world finally caught up to where we've been for so long.
It's embarrassing for me, for you guys. Because like I've been screaming about this show for like a year. I was telling Mariah, I saw it when it was in previews. So like a review hadn't come out. It had been tethered.
Yes, you were the review. You were the review that came
out. And I was just so in awe because like at that time I was also a lot heavier than I am now.
People who don't get to be seen as the number one or the one could be out front. I think that's the most important thing. And doing the show is someplace as small as Playwrights, as big as Playwrights Horizons, but seat-wise, it's like 200 seats. So we could see everybody in the audience, which was so cool, watching these people who were just like us, who were like, oh, we have felt not included as well. Tell me more.
Yeah.
That was the coolest thing in the world. And I think that's what resonates with so many people.
Absolutely. I can't tell you, just sitting there and seeing you guys talk truth about Tyler Perry and talk truth about like the good intentions of Lin-Manuel Miranda and that love is love speech that that Usher has in that. I just couldn't imagine, honestly, like at that point I'd seen plays at Playwrights Horizons. I saw Here by Taylor Mack. That was the very first play I saw there.
Okay.
Wow.
It was just very clear to me that nobody had the gumption to clap back at the community that you know, you don't want to.
I think it's also, we had been doing this for so long, and the one message that came in during this playwrights rehearsal time was, we want to make sure we're not clapping back, that we're not insulting anybody. Because there are a lot of places in there where you could, I guess, interpret some of the material and insult a Tyler Perry or insult some folks. And it's, if you go in with the intention of just telling the truth and taking out the intention of ever wanting to hurt someone's feelings, it changes how you develop the story. And I think that reads, and I think that's what, Michael spoke to Tyler Perry yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
There we
That's
go.
the thing, and it was a good conversation.
Speaking of
you
which,
know, like
yes,
that's the thing. It's not. Had this been an attack on Tyler Perry? It's not. It's just, here are some facts. Now do with those facts what you would like. It would have been a different turnout, I think.
Absolutely.
So I think that was a huge thing for us. In the song Inner White Girl hadn't been there for the longest time. And it was just, maybe, it was sometime in a reading we did just before, somewhere in the months before we started the run at Playwrights. And it was this idea of holding up and idolizing our white girl, our inner white girl, the Alanis Morissettes, the Jewel, the whoever it was you listened to in the 90s to like get through, to hold that girl up and just say like, I wanted to be like her. If we insulted her, it would have been a whole different thing. And I think that just changed the message for us, and it changed how other people interpreted it.
I feel like a lot of times people will see we'll see someone else be like, I'm going to highlight this thing, this example in society that I've seen, and I'm just going to shed a light on it, and you know, it'll be from this perspective, and you know, you make of it what you will. You make of it what you seeing, and
that's the thing.
I think that's what it's supposed to do. Exactly, art is supposed to draw a conversation. Why do you think that way? Why do you think I think that way? Why do you think like?
Right. I think
really the question.
If you tell the truth and believe that your audience is smart, which they are. There you go.
Give them some credit.
Right. You don't, like, dumbing things down isn't necessary. Having to translate things isn't necessary. We thought, like, is anybody going to get this? Is anybody going to understand? And across the board, across race, across gender, across sexuality, everybody got it. Everybody was like, oh, I see myself up there. One of the very early shows the ushers are always these like older, like 70-year-old Jewish women for some reason,
always.
which I love, and I love them because those are the women I grew up around. But one of them came up to me after, me and like a couple others, they came to us afterwards, and they were like, okay, I see my mother up there. And I was like, on paper, that's weird. But it's just anyone who's ever stood in their family or in front of their whoever and felt different and just wanted to be loved gets it. And I think that's just about everybody. And if you do that from a place of the truth and that's not insulting, anybody's down.
Exactly. And that's why we're winning Pulitzer Prizes, people.
Right?
Damn straight.
It's kind of a game changer. Like, I've been saying this for years. Like, Michael Jackson is like, you know, those come along every like 20 years or so?
Yes.
You get like, you know, you get a Sondheim, and 25, 30 years later, you get like an Andrew Lloyd Webber or something like that. Like, so you get these things that change the game every like 20, 30 years.
It seems like a thing. It's a Michael Jackson thing, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
It's the name. It's the name.
Actual like medium. And I think that's what he is opening up space to do. It's weird that there's a pandemic going on and like you can't.
What do we do? Yes.
As a person who like I've had to learn to articulate myself and play my fair share of the game in this industry. And Michael R. Jackson just walked in here and was like, I don't have to do that. I can find a way to articulate myself on my terms. And you don't get
doesn't everyone? The thing that I keep hearing him talk about for the last couple years is that, and we all knew this, he was writing this piece and thinking, no one's ever going to produce this. But if you write or create with that intention, no one's ever going to watch this, no one's ever going to do this. Doesn't it change the way you behave while you're creating?
Completely. That's
free. Completely right. Because you're opening yourself up to you're just giving yourself credence to fail and to hit roadblock and to exactly,
to do whatever. Like if I fail, if I like whatever, just
it is what it is.
I did it.
But then if I fail, I can get back up.
Right.
If I don't try, then there's
or if you like start morphing it to change it to try to fit the expectations of what I'm supposed to do.
That's a big one.
I've been trying to carry that. Even while like creating, you know, I've gotten to play a lot of my characters for the longest time on paper in front of a music stand. But when you have to put in like, okay, what's like physicality of things and that stuff, that was a new thing for me. And if you just approach it with, I just want to tell the truth. I don't want to insult anybody. And nobody's ever going to do this. No, we didn't even know if anyone was going to like it, if anyone was going to come. If can we do this an opening night and like go out there and perform? And is anyone even gonna clap?
Yeah. The first words that Usher says is, "Can I really write this?" Right?
And we're literally like, I don't know. And lo and behold, people seem to really like it. Which is cool.
Yeah, I was telling Mariah before this, like I've had this conversation with so many people. I was like, I could see this on Broadway, and they're like, well. So could I.
Yeah.
So many people feel like it's had its journey. And I'm like, no.
I don't think
it has.
No.
There's too many people every day. You know, we're all sitting at home, slaves to our phones and social media and the stuff right now. We're just all on our computers, on our devices.
Yes.
Whether we're watching TV or texting or whatever. And there are people across the planet who are coming in view of the show still. Wow. There's an amazing cast album out. There's all this like footage of years of Michael's music just out there in the world.
I know.
And people are just coming to it now. And it's fascinating. I saw something posted in like other languages that I was like, that's right. People in other countries get to view this as well.
Yes.
And have opinions about it.
Yes.
That's what I love about it.
I don't think it can be done. If we think about the other shows, like the last time I felt a part of something like this was in the 90s. I was out of college and Rent was happening. And it was this phenomenon. And if you were like, then in my 20s, like performer, and you wanted to be a part of the thing, and this CD came out of this show, I studied every word. I knew there was no internet at the time. So I knew everything about where like Daphne Rubin Vega might be, or like where these people were hanging out. And the fact that like a theater kid now who doesn't see himself represented anywhere could have that same experience over this thing that's only happened in this small 200-seat theater for a couple months. It can't be done.
Yeah.
Like there's too many people that still need to see it. So
yeah, I completely agree. You could say that Be More Chill was done when it was done at Two River, and Signature took a chance on it, and they knew
those kids got to happen. Like that's so cool. Yeah. Joanne Thomas and
we were just talking about
class together.
Oh, at NYU.
I think they were in the same the musical theater writing, like the grad writing program together.
Awesome. Hello.
Yeah, they're buddies.
Shout out.
I don't know what's going on right now world-wise, and like when there was like something came out today that Broadway might not even come back until sometime in September.
We've talked about that a little bit. I don't think it's going to come back until next March. Just to be really blunt and honest about it.
I think this year's done. I think so. I kind of think that way. I don't know.
In this medium, absolutely. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Things are going to start to take a new form.
It's going to come back, but it's going to come back. All of theater will come back because it has since the dawn of time.
And I'm really excited for when it comes back because, and we talked about this when Raja came on. He's been part of this wave of theater that it reminds me of what I learned in college about Brecht, that we learn to alienate the audience, to like make them question their own experiences. And that's mesmerizing to me because that's the only honest way to get an audience in the seats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them something. People are hungry. That's what that's where the stuff is. Over the last 2 years or so, off Broadway has been really where it's at.
I really enjoyed the oh my gosh.
Telling the truth, and it doesn't have to all be Disney and cute.
What are your favorite productions that you've seen? Because fortunately, because you were in an off-Broadway show, you had a limited run, so you were fortunate enough to see all of everything that's been going on.
And it was a very cool season last year, all at the same time. It was all of my friends for years are actually in the same mix and in the same company, which I was so happy about. I have a friend that was an octet, which I've listened to, but I couldn't see it because they were at the exact same time.
They were.
There's literally no way to see it. So I've listened to it, and it's amazing. I had friends we had a bunch of friends. Well, Raja was the link to Fairview, which was amazing. So it's just strange to be in that mix of company.
Yeah, slave play.
Slave play, yeah. To go out, we're always going to not the Laurie Beachman, but the Westway across the street from Playwrights Horizons.
Yeah.
The West Bank Cafe.
West Bank Cafe. I've had many dates there.
So to go in there after the show one night, we're just hanging out with some of the cast of Pose came to hang out with Jeremy O. Harris, that crowd. That's very interesting, and it's just I think it's good art meets good art, and or the truth meets the truth. Like speaks to like.
Absolutely, and you're starting to see that because people are making way. I didn't want to like Ryan Murphy for the longest time, but the way.
Time with him.
Yeah.
Are you watching the show?
Of course.
How is it? I don't know.
It is just you haven't seen any of it yet, right?
I've seen none of it, and I'm trying
you're talking about Hollywood, just to clarify.
Yeah. Yes.
Give us the Stars Board.
Yeah. No,
Give me a Stars Board take. What's our take? Yeah.
Okay.
The Stars Board take. I feel like Hollywood, he gives it the ending it deserves.
Okay.
But it's not necessarily the ending that it needs. And he tries to make a fairy tale about how things could be. And
there's a way to do that.
Yeah, and look, I'm not gonna lie, I loved every second of it. But I this artistic part of me that wants to be honest with myself and wants to be honest with what I'm watching is that even if it's nice to fantasize about
Right.
how things could have been. Is that the best way to?
Go at it.
Yeah.
I mean, and there is space for fantasy as well.
Yes.
There really is.
Mhm.
There is definitely space for it. I'm just finding myself a lot more attracted to the truth.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
I watch everything that he's done because
Yeah.
it's been there and it's given to you in nice doses that you can like, oh, I can handle 10 episodes. That's good.
It's true.
To me, the only complaint I think I've ever had is, and some people have very strong feelings about Ryan Murphy. I don't have strong feelings. I think there's a clear moment in every season of everything that he has done where you are watching and you can actually hear him leave the writer's room.
Oh my God. Can you
There's just a
expand on that?
moment. Well, there's just like, you go into something with all these ideas and like you have a spec for whatever, and you might even have 2 or 3 episodes written on your own. And then you get to a point where you're like, okay, you guys got this. And then you leave. And it's not to say that you haven't left good people in charge, because there are oftentimes really great people working behind the scenes there. But
Janet Mock.
She came to see the show. There's a moment where you can like visually, audibly just hear him leave the writer's room.
Wow.
And the show keeps going in absolutely everything that I've seen. And it doesn't make me not watch it, or it doesn't make me not like it. It's just, I don't know if you were there for the middle. Does that make sense?
I can't judge you based on this because this is not. I can tell it's not you.
It's not you. Right. There's just a clear moment where it's like, that you told someone to carry on here, and they did.
And you went on to the next project, which is fine. You know, that's showbiz.
Next projects to go to.
Exactly.
So, that's yay.
Right.
But I will say he is elevating theater and to a whole new level. We've talked about it on like almost every episode recently, but the Chorus Line miniseries that he has coming up, like that is something.
I didn't even know about that.
Oh, that's happening. That's Chorus Line miniseries. It's on Netflix. Of course, I'm getting its own. Yes.
Yeah, and the Prom. He had like a $500 million deal.
It's not a making of type thing. It's a like.
No. I think he's gonna adapt their stories.
Oh. Yes,
I think that's
they're
what
gonna
be.
like. Adapt. Yes, they're gonna adapt it. I think.
Wow.
I'm very excited about that.
I will definitely watch.
And it's accessible to people like me, and I love that.
During all of this? There's been a lot of Schitt's Creek.
Me too.
Which I watched
it
and I didn't see the last season, and my boyfriend had never seen it, so we're way back in season 2.
Watching it.
Trying to catch up.
Okay.
My favorite show ever, every season, and it's always like 8 or 10 episodes, is Pamela Adlon's Better Things.
Oh, how
FX.
Is that? You like it?
Okay.
I love it. Just because it's not about anything. It's just a single mom and 3 girls, and the creativity level of just taking it all on yourself, writing, directing, casting some of your friends to be in it and showcasing their talents.
Yes.
People of a certain age also. It's just good writing and good acting, and Pam Adlon should just win all of the things.
She really should.
Yeah.
I think because she was
forever.
She was associated with Louis, and I think that made things hard for her for a minute. And it's so agonizing because she's such a person.
His name still has to be on as like one of the creators of it.
There you go.
But everything else is just her name.
I need that contract.
Right? Every episode written by, directed by, cast by. So she's probably shooting some of it too.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorites.
So I will tell you about how Schitt's Creek. It's the first thing my family has been able to watch together in a My sister's here, my mom and dad are here, the unit is together. And we gather to watch that show, and we're Jews, so like it hits a nerve. And I've been spending the past 4 days before Mother's Day trying to reach out. I thought of this amazing idea My
Yeah.
mom just sort of loves the way Bob comes into frame. It's like this. I'll show you. It's sort of like a hop and then a walk and then
Oh
like
my God, yeah.
and
Yeah.
she dies over it every time. So I tried to find. I called the agency that represents John Hemphill, who has
Wow.
Bob in Canada.
Way.
I had to call Canada, and I tried to do like. I was like, "Can you get a cameo?"
I wonder if he's doing cameo or something.
He's not. He's off the grid. Bob is off
Amazing.
the grid. It is just.
That's got to be so nice.
It must be to just do the work and then nobody bothers you.
Right?
And
Wow.
Right?
must be
Just
great.
like go to the grocery store.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say though, it is Canada, so they must be like, there is that town of people who are like, oh my God, it's Bob, and he's
It's
at Trader
gotta be.
Joe's.
Right. Right. That would be so cool to like put together all of his entrances or something, or just like get, I don't know, to get him somehow in the loop. That'd be so cool.
I'll get that. I'll get that to you by the end.
I would love that.
I love this energy.
And I want you to talk about you have started curating a variety show before
Yes,
all this
please.
happened.
Let's talk about this right.
I
Yes.
just did. So
I'm like,
I not dipped out of the theater world, but I just moved into this cabaret world maybe 10 years ago and was doing a lot of solo stuff. I have a cabaret like duo act called The Black Ups that I've been
Okay.
working on for years with a very dear friend of mine, LaDonna Burns, playing two very disgruntled backup singers.
well,
And I live in Jersey City. So there is a lovely museum in Jersey City called the Manna Contemporary, where I went to see sort of like an evening. It was actually the first thing I saw there was an evening about how to curate your own thing, whatever the thing may be. And I was like, oh, what's the difference between curator and like producer of your own cabaret stuff? And as I like was listening to the checklist, I was like, well, I do that. And like, yeah, booking the venue, okay, like hiring of the who, I do all of those things. Met some folks there and they asked me to put together a night, which was amazing. And it was at the end of February, so right before all of this started. So I just went to like my community. I went to Michael R. Jackson and I went to Raja Feather Kelly and I went to my friend Adam Enright, who there's a group called Two Scoops, who you have got to investigate because they're hysterical.
Okay.
here we go.
It's
going
all
in.
the time. So Adam Enright is half of them. Who else? Molly Pope, who's like cabaret royalty forever. And I just asked them like, hey, I'm putting together this thing. Would you be interested? It's in Jersey City, but I can get you paid for it. And what? It was a great night.
Hello?
Everybody had to like that they were promoting that has subsequently since been canceled. But it was really, it felt like the last thing I got to work on. And it was probably like the last time I saw like Michael in the flesh or Raja in the flesh. It was a great night. And I hope that there gets to be more in the future.
I have a feeling if there's any way if there's a
To
better
finesse
platform
it now.
to
Yeah,
use,
you know?
Right? Like,
yeah, you gotta
I
zoom
miss
that.
doing it. I
video.
used to do it a lot. I was always at the Green Room 42, and I did my show at Joe's Pub a couple of years ago. But I started doing it, like I said, 10 years ago, and it just sort of I liked the freedom in that. Some call it control, but it was a freedom.
Don't even listen to them.
Right,
No.
but I got to like I went home to Boston and did the show there a lot. The ART has their own Joe's Pub. It's called Club Oberon.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
It's pretty cool. It's in
Okay.
Cambridge, so you're like right in Harvard Square. It's lovely. I went to LA a couple times and did the show out there. Like, it's really weird just like being in control of this. And that's another point where while doing all of that stuff, there was always like a call from Michael. Hey, we're doing a reading of A Strange Loop. We want to work on the script. Are you free? So it was always there to go back to, which was cool.
That's so wonderful. By the way, LaDonna was really kind to me. I was like, is that the same LaDonna? And it is. It just has to be.
There's only
Same Madonna.
There's
LaDonna
one
Burns.
LaDonna, and she was my friend Miles.
She's sort of like Beetlejuice, where if you just say her name enough in public,
Oh my God,
someone
she's-
will show up and be like, oh my God, LaDonna
I
Burns.
know her.
It's happened to me. I've known her for almost 20 years. And
I love that.
She
Yeah,
has an
we did.
incredible voice. She works at Brandy's also.
Yeah.
And that's where I
she
met her.
Introduced me to my piano player. My piano player is Elliot Roth, who plays at Brandy's with her.
No kidding.
Yeah, because the world is this big.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I love that about New York. You run into,
literally everybody.
I miss that.
So do I.
You actually do run into people in New York City.
What was the last thing you auditioned for?
Well, everything is now being self-taped.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have found this new area up here in the apartment because we have an upstairs like leading to a roof deck, which is literally right here. And it just, so I've been self-taping everything. So what did I have to do yesterday? There's a lot of, in this downtime, casting agencies who are like, hey, we've got nothing to do, so let's meet some new people.
Right, yeah.
So it's just a lot of like, do whatever you want for about 2 minutes on camera and send this to somebody, which is
beautiful.
Cool. Because I'm buying all this equipment and like figuring out what's the best setup up here to do things. And then
that's a really great
got material to use.
Exactly.
So like today, a new video camera came today that I'm going to go and learn about at some point.
Yeah.
How long ago did you order that? Yeah. Me too.
It was a journey. So Amazon, I have been abusing, and I ordered it first there. It was lost in the mail, and then I just ordered this one from B&H. And
okay, there you go.
Instantly. So I think I bought the B&H one on Saturday night, and it got here just this morning.
That's wonderful. Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm gonna start because I've been playing the piano every day to try to like learn a new song and like.
Okay.
So I have to sing in a benefit this weekend coming up. Where
what's the benefit?
So a friend of mine in Oklahoma, his mom, they're having a benefit for his mom. And there's really cool people in it. His mom is suffering from dementia, and she's very young. She's, I think, only in her 60s. But the benefit has like some drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race, Alexis Michelle, Monique Hart are hosting it. Alicia Umphris is in it.
I love her.
Sean Krill, who's the dad in Jagged Little Pill.
Yes.
Oh my God, I can't remember. Those were the names that stuck out to me when I saw the list the other day. And I was like, oh, these are like amazing people. And I get to be in the mix of that. What am I going to do? So I'm learning some music to like play and sing to.
What are your like musical influences that make you want to learn music?
I guess there's always the Nina Simone world. Nina Simone happens a lot for me, but then it gets into like, I can't play that well. I was a piano minor.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle. So, but I feel like I have the time, so I'm learning.
Yes.
I just learned this Paul Simon song that I sang and did a little video of a couple weeks ago called American Tune that I love, which I'm probably going to sing Sunday night. What's the other one that John Prine died recently from COVID-19. And he wrote Angel from Montgomery, which, I mean, everybody has sung, but Bonnie Raitt is a favorite of mine. So I'm learning that is another one. Yeah, I'm just kind of figuring out what I can play with my basic knowledge.
You know, there is, just for your voice, there are people that I love because I have sort of like a higher voice too. Vulfpeck is this amazing band. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Vulfpeck.
They're not German. They sound like a German steampunk band.
Yeah, because Vulfpeck.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Theo Katzman, Antoine Stanley, Charles Jones. They're these group of guys and some ladies too, like Monica Martin comes in and like sings with them sometimes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they have these beautiful songs, and like I've seen some of your videos. I saw you like put a spell on you, and I was just like, he's got the cabaret. Like that's where
Here we go.
That's my thing. That's where I function or have functioned the best. So it was nice to, I don't know, just it changed the way I went at musical theater stuff when I started doing that. So hopefully that'll work someday.
Hello.
I think it will, man.
It's nice putting it all together now. Like I feel at 44 years old. Am I 44? Jesus.
Who's counting?
I feel like I'm putting all of it together in a nice way. It's weird right now having no place to bring it to.
Yeah.
So we got to try other things. So
Yeah.
There you go.
And you got to
I
make
got
your
the
own
video
space,
camera.
which is something you've had a lot of experience in doing.
Yeah.
You're doing it right
Okay.
now, aren't you?
This may be small, but I'm going to figure out how to do it.
But it's mighty.
It's like those are the little things, because right now I can only focus on small things, it seems, for a little bit at a time. I can do like 20 minutes of this, then I got to do 20 minutes of this, then 20 minutes of this, because I think we're going a little stir crazy,
Yes.
maybe.
Oh yeah.
So having like little things to do is great. Raja and I are working on, there's the A Strange Loop reunion special happening Friday night.
Ooh.
Which Raja is hosting and I am producing.
Yes.
So that has
Definitely
been
gonna
lovely
promote
to work
that.
on. But you have to watch it. It's going to be hysterical.
I'm excited.
So I had a meeting with him this morning because we're putting together I'm putting together photos and he's putting together like video stuff.
Mhm.
So I saw the videos that he was putting together and they're amazing. The opening credits alone are amazing.
Yeah.
So
I don't
Yes.
doubt that, James, because when I was doing research on Raja, like I had already asked him. I knew what I was getting into, but the way he packages himself as an
It's
artist
unreal.
is something we can all learn from. Have you seen his Vimeo? It is
Yes.
crazy. It is
There's
just
there's an article that he just wrote for Dance Magazine that I think came out yesterday that I just read this morning. It's so good. And it's about what artists need right now. Like, what can you do for your artist friends right now?
Yes.
Which is stuff we all need to read and know about.
What time is this reunion special?
It's
We have to be
Friday
there.
night. It's at 7 p.m. If you go to Facebook and you just search A Strange Loop reunion special live, there's an event page.
There we go.
So we are working out where exactly we're streaming it from, but that will be announced probably by like Wednesday or so.
Yeah, you know.
And it'll be announced on the event page where we're doing that. And then everybody can watch, but everybody's involved. Everybody's going to be on it. And it's just a reunion. We want to do it sort of like the Watch What Happens Live thing on Bravo that Andy Cohen does. We bring all the housewives back and
There you
just
go.
like chit chat for a little bit and see what's going on.
Oh, I love that. So it is just going to
Very
be
exciting.
chit chat and maybe
It's
a song
just
or two.
chit-chat.
Okay.
Because no one has really mastered without millions of dollars how to do like the perfect musical anything over Zooms and all of this.
Like
we are
live?
not having a live musical element, but there's a lot of video footage and stuff being used. There's a ton of rehearsal footage I didn't even know existed.
Ooh.
So there's stuff coming. There's like all this fan art and stuff. We just found this video that this kid did.
I was seeing some fan art
I think in
online.
Toronto.
Yeah.
And so we're going to show some of that stuff. It's really cool, the reach of the show.
Yeah, you know, there's a point I want to make, and it's why, like, I was always, when it seemed like we were starting to get some of the Strange Loop family in, I always wanted to get each of you individually, and a piece of fan art by a certain Blixby made it very clear to me why it's important to do that. Is because you all have your own journeys, and you all are quintessential to this show. As much as Larry playing Usher is, because without y'all, he has no conscience. It's
right. So it's really cool to see. This is my family. That's my brothers and sister that I have had for years, and we're all so very different, and we're all so very talented, and we're all like, I can't wait to see what the other person does next. It's really cool to have that energy, and it's really cool to come together as a unit, which I miss doing. The group chat is on fire. It's just like I miss seeing everybody, and we just kind of root for each other every day. So it's really like all the self-tape stuff that I'm doing. John Andrew, we call him Jam. Jam has been helping me with. Lyles wrote some music that was in We're All Gonna Die that Raja directed. Like
Mariah and I saw We're Gonna Die Together.
I didn't get to see it.
It was amazing.
Lots of
when you got to
balloons.
see
It was wonderful.
Yes. If you go back and listen to the Raja episode, he quizzes us. He gives us all sorts of
Yes.
work to do for us to like continue to talk about the show. But we talked about it for probably 3 hours until we got on the train, basically, to go in 2 different directions. It was so good. But yes. Okay.
So this is
exciting.
We're a little family.
I love that.
So we're just kind of excited to see what can hopefully happen next.
I am gonna close you out by just saying that I'm so grateful that you came here, and it's something I said.
I'm grateful.
Oh, please, you are.
Thank you.
I don't get asked to go anywhere, so thank you.
Girl, you should be everywhere.
Everywhere.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
And I know that A Strange Loop is gonna. I mean, obviously, what do I know? I don't even have.
In your crystal ball, okay? I see big things.
I do. I can say that we're gonna have to restructure Broadway when we get back, and there's gonna be like with the '70s and Roundabout, we're gonna have to evaluate what has been created before. And carry those productions, and I know that A Strange Loop is just gonna have to be a part of that. I think it's unavoidable.
Too important not to. So I don't even have. I was gonna say like I don't even have to cross fingers. Like the right thing is going to happen for the show, and the message will continue to get out there. The fact that it gets out there at all under these circumstances is fascinating. So. As soon as the world opens up, it's gonna
that's gonna be it. Yeah.
Here we come. Yeah.
James Jackson Jr., thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
This was awesome,
amazing.
for real.
This was so much fun.